It's good to see you back to another cooking adventure. This afternoon I'm going to prepare Italian gnocchi, which are Italian dumplings. There's basically two major ways of preparing them. One uses potatoes, and the method that I'm using tonight uses flour and ricotta cheese. I prefer this method over the potato method because it yields lighter, fluffier gnocchi. Now, the dough was made earlier in the day and it's set in the refrigerator for several hours. The minimum is 30 minutes. And the first thing I'm going to do is to cut it into 4 parts. Now, and I like to use these metal scrapers also as cutters, not only to do a great job of scraping things from the counter, but they make great knives as well. And here I am cutting them into 4s. So I have now 4 roughly equal parts. And each one of these I'm going to roll out, as you will see, into gnocchi. I do have some flour here to help with keeping the dough from sticking. And the first thing I'm going to do now is spread some rice flour on the cloth that's covering the pan on which I will lay down the rolled out gnocchi. And the reason that I use rice flour is that it doesn't get sticky like wheat flour, and it's because it's almost it acts almost like little marbles, and it keeps the gnocchi from sticking to the cloth as well. So here I am, just a light coating. This rice flour also works great for pizza and pasta as well. And I'm going to move this aside. And I'm going to put a little flour here so I can roll out the first gnocchi. Now, as I'm rolling it out with my fingers, I'm also pulling my fingers apart to get it to stretch. Notice how it's becoming longer and thinner. And when it gets to be about finger thickness, a little bit thinner than this, I'll be ready to cut it. There we go. This is about the right thickness. Here's my finger, and here's the dough. And once again, I'm going to use my scraper to cut about 1-inch pieces, like so. More flour. There we go. Now the next step is peculiar in that it's designed to put grooves in the gnocchi so that those grooves will catch some of that delicious sauce that will be served on top of the gnocchi. So there's a reason for everything we do. Now this is the classic Italian gnocchi pattern maker. But if you don't have one of these, chances are that you don't, you can use a fork, or you can use the coarse side of the grater. And I'm going to use each one of these to show you how well it works. First, I'll try the Italian gnocchi pattern maker, and I grab the gnocchi like this, and very gently press my thumb into it. And I notice that cute little pattern that's made in the gnocchi. And I just put that on the tray. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can try a fork. Do the same thing. Press gently with your thumb. Notice the pattern. Or If you would rather use a grater, you can do that too. And once again, there's the little holes that will catch all that delicious sauce later tonight. So for the rest of the demonstration, I will simply continue using the Italian one. It's very quick. Well, the next step in the preparation of gnocchi, of course, is to cook them. And for that, I'm using gently boiling water, in which I've placed a couple of teaspoons of salt for flavoring. And it shouldn't be a hard boil, it should be just a gentle boil. And I like to use a colander like this for cooking the gnocchi, and I'll show you why shortly. I place the gnocchi in the colander, gently, and then I place the colander with the gnocchi in it into the water. Now note that the gnocchi is sent to the bottom. I'll know the gnocchi is cooked and ready to come out after the gnocchi float back up to the top of the water and float for about 30 seconds to a minute. I know they'll be done then, for sure. You can see that they're beginning to rise now to the surface of the water, and at this point, I'll let them float for about a minute before I remove them from the boiling water. This will ensure that they're thoroughly cooked all the way through. There, they're about ready to come out now. Drain them as well as you can back into the pot, and then place them. The next step is to spray them with some oil spray to keep them from sticking together. There, perfectly done.